Well, welcome back to the channel. Nice quick one today. Yes, I vape. This is my little spare vape. That's my main one. Use this all the time. It's Enduro T22 Pro by Innokin, and the charger's not working properly. And it's just basically the charging port is like loose. Might be able to see the light on is there. You can see, yeah, and you wiggle it around, it's off. And it's just not charging properly. You know, you can lay it down. You end up laying it down, it just goes off. Doesn't stay on. It's actually like a straight USB port, so I think pulling it out is pulling the USB port away from the board. So let's just get this apart and resolder the legs in. Which is all I did with the other one. Just going to turn this off. Just got Torx screws. Not sure what size. Small. Okay, right, so that's the bottom off. A couple of screws in the top as well. So this is where our battery is here, so you want to be careful you don't short it out. But the other thing you need to do, because this won't slide out without this board is stuck in with all the buttons. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of heat to the front of this, just 120 degrees or so. 120 is not going to melt anything or do any harm, it's just going to soften the glue from this front plate. There's not much of a gap here, so you probably need something sharp to get under this. I'm not worried if I ruin it a little bit. Nearly there, just get my nail under that. There we go, now we've got it up. Once you've got it going, just keep the heat on it. It should be warm enough now. There you go, it's just like a double-sided tape. It's absolutely disgusting under here. Imagine what it's doing to your lungs. So now we just pop that button out. That button can pop out. Now if I remember, this will all slide out the bottom. You've got your lithium cell in there, so you don't want to short it out. So lay it down, and we are all out. Nice little aluminium shell. It's quite nicely sort of made, that shell. So there's our port. We'll have a look at that under the microscope in a minute, but let's just I'm going to disconnect this battery. So I don't fancy it shorting out at all anywhere, or applying heat while the battery is connected. Oh, I didn't want to come out there, did it? Let's pop this red one off of here. Might be easier to get it from this side actually. Right, so that's our battery nice and safe and out of the way. Right, it's not pretty much nothing on the back of the board. Zoom in a bit now. Right, so yeah, this is our problem. Let me get the microscope and let's see if we can show you that. If anyone from Andon Star's watching and wants me to try one of their microscopes, I'll be forever grateful. Right, so it's a bit hard to see really in here. Let's get you, see you closer. Yeah, the thing is, it all just looks a bit messy down in there. Really hard to get something in under there to see what's going on. But yeah, not much is happening. I mean, this is inside the port. Again, it's pretty hard to see in there. There is a bit of dirt and stuff in there, but I've tried cleaning these out before. Doesn't make much difference. All of our contacts are still on there. Can we see the pins this side? No, it's just like a mess under there. Bit of alcohol on a toothbrush. Right, still impossible to see. I mean, they look like they're all on. I can't really get even a pointed pair of tweezers in there to check. Don't know, I mean, does that end one look like it's loose? Yeah, see that end one, you can see that moving, I think. So yeah, that's moving slightly. That's not even connected to the board anymore. Right, so just moving it out of the way, keep that on charge for a bit. Right, so I've just got on my helping hand there. I'm just going to hang it over the edge of the bench so I can heat from underneath. There's nothing on the back of the board, and we'll heat from underneath and we'll be able to pop that port out. Right, let's just get... Oh, that light's better. Right, let's get a bit of flux under there. Right, it's got my heat set to 390. It's going to heat up from under the board. Let's warm up a bit of the board so we're not just shocking one area. I'm just going to leave that heat on there now till it's heated up, and hopefully we'll see that molten, the solder start flowing. Give it a little nudge from time to time, see if it's going to lift off. Not ready yet. It's starting to get shiny in there now. There we go, lift the port off gently. You don't want to lift it too soon before this is like, before the solder's gone, because you'll rip pads like I might have done there. But that was loose. That's always the danger, ripping pads. But no. There you go. So nice watching the solder go back to solid. So no, we have got our pads there, we're fine. Right, so there's our port taken off. We need to clean them feet up as well a little bit. But you can see the trouble now with the port that just pulls out this way. You know, you're always pulling on here. And if you haven't got enough solder in these like anchor points, it's going to end up pulling this off. And that's probably what the trouble is. There's just probably not just enough solder in the anchor holes. They're always very tight on their solder when they manufacture these. Right, so just going to take our soldering iron now. Actually, just put a little bit of fresh flux on it before the board cools down too much. And be careful of your buttons and plastic buttons and things like that. You don't want to melt them. So a little bit of leaded solder on here. We'll just clean up these pads. We'll mix in some leaded solder. This tip is useless. The solder always wants to go up the top of it. So there we go, that will do for that. Got some nice fresh solder on it. Let's give that a bit of a clean up with some IPA. Right, I'm just going to try and hold this with my hand. It's probably going to be wobbly all over the place. So same again with this. We're just going to try and clean these feet up. Just get a bit of flux on it. There you go, you see how they're nice and shiny now, they're coming up nice. I'll be careful I'm not melting the plastic on it. Oh, I think that will do. That's hard to tell with all the lights on it. There's no bridges or anything on them feet. Let's try and give this a little bit of a clean up. Gently, we don't want to bend the feet all over the place. So yeah, there you go, that all looks good. So now we've prepped all this up, we've got new solder on here, we've cleaned up our port. So now we'll just get some flux on there and we'll go again. We'll heat the board up, we'll get the solder molten, and then we'll just drop that into place. Right, so let's go. Hot air back underneath. There goes the solder solidifying. I'm doing this a little bit cack-handed. We'll get them down in their holes. There we go. Get that sitting in there nicely, and then we'll just try and push down on that, move the heat away. Hopefully that is it. I'm just going to heat up again a bit. This probably weighs better, just gripping it underneath. Yeah, that's sat down a bit better now. Trouble is this, board's moving up and down on your third hand. Get the tweezers either side of the board, and that's all be all nice and set. So hopefully that is, that's that all nicely in place. Quick clean up again with some RPA. Watch that bubble. That's how hot that is. Give the whole board a bit of a wipe over just to get any old vape juice off of it. While we're back here as well, let's get a little bit more solder on these the anchor points of that USB. Want to make sure those feet are nice and strong. Right, now let's try and get our battery back on. Right, now let's push this all back up through there. We'll get that in. That just slides in those two slots. Slide the whole thing up. Let's screw the top back on for now. What I should have done before connecting this all back up is make sure it's going to charge. So let's plug that in. You can see we've got our red light. We can wiggle that around. No movement. Put it back out. We'll switch it around because it's a USB-C. Make sure it charges both sides. Yep. Wiggle it around. Perfect. Lights staying on. We're all good. Should have done that before. Although it's a bit safer once it's in here. Doesn't matter where I wiggle it around to, it's fine. Don't want to wiggle it too much, don't want to break it again, do I? And the other side is fine. There we go, all fixed. Make sure the lights still work. Just setting your wattage. And that's it. Now I can enjoy my vape. Hope you enjoyed that little short one. No need to buy a new port, but if you was to buy a new port, it's only going to be a couple of quid or two. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something, and hopefully I shall see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Don't smoke, don't vape. It's not cool.